Well, it's going to be a bull or a bear tonight with the coin. Let me see. Oh, that's a good spin. About time. Looks like it's a bear. And you know what? I almost have to concur with the coin. I think that they're kind of going to get it below that sub $20 market here. Let's see what happens. Meanwhile, got the live Miami Coral Cam up. Take a look at this. I just rolled the video back a few minutes. Saw this little school of, oh gosh, I don't even know what they are, man. I should. I'm the fisherman here. No less, there's a grunt over here in the corner. I know that's a grunt right there, and I forget what that is, and I forget what these little yellow guys are here, but aren't they beautiful? Again, end of the day, the light's probably hitting the water just right, really showing their colors. I think that's an angelfish. But this is not the tropical fish show. This is the commercial rare coins and the concierge bullion services show here, which is more or less our daily update on precious metals. Boy, I can't help but wanting to watch the rest of this, so pretty cool, huh? Well, let's get into the, it's not really the quote of the day, but this is exactly what we got going on. I remember every year from the first 10 years of my business, I think August and September, I would begin to panic because business would just drop off a cliff. And here we are again. It took me almost a decade to figure out that it's just a seasonal thing. I don't know why. Some people say it's because the kids are back in school. Again, couldn't tell you why, because most of my clients, their kids are out of the house already. So I don't know why it just quiets up in August and September, but seasonally for me, and come to find out, I even went to the local tackle store, T&R Tackle, which is right down the street from me, by the way, if you're in South Florida. Here, and you're in my neck of the woods in Broward County, T&R Tackle is right on Commercial Boulevard. Great place. If you go in there, tell them Brian said hi. Or not tell them Brian said hi, tell them Brian sent you from the coin shop. They know who I am. But they're quiet as well. Talked to Cody over there, who's one of the guys that works at the counter, and Jeff, who basically runs the place. And yeah, they said it just kind of dropped off a cliff as well. But again, I think it's a seasonal thing. It's what we call the dog days of summer, and I believe we are in dog days of summer. And it usually kind of spreads out through September. And don't forget, for all my South Florida peeps and the people living in the Southeast, we have hurricane season here. This is when things start to really kind of pick up, usually in August and September. And we're rolling into the September month right now, which is usually our busiest hurricane month. We have been so lucky, knock on wood. And yes, if you heard that, that is my head, because I do have a wooden head. So I've been told. And we've been lucky so far. So dog days of summer right now, everything's quiet. It seems like just in general, everything's quiet out there. The precious metals market's quiet. Sales have slowed down overall. I think it's just a seasonal thing. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, especially if you run a business or you have noticed a similar type pattern over the years, that these months are usually quiet. Well, gold market closed at 1776, got monkey hammered down yesterday in the typical criminal markets that we talk about all the time, but I'm not talking about them tonight, and I'm avoiding a lot of news tonight. We're going to make it a quick one. I'm going to go over what the best deals out there. I've got some great deals myself, and I doubt that any of the online guys can match them at this point. I usually beat all the online, not all the online guys, I shouldn't say that. I beat the big three gorillas out there, APMEX, SD, and JM Bullion. If you live in South Florida, I'm the guy you want to buy from. But right now, I can handily beat their prices, especially in 1 ounce rounds and 100-ounce bars. I got some new updates on prices I'm going to share with you folks here. So let's get into silver. 2017, a high of 2033, a low of 1995. It looks like we did get an intraday low below 20, didn't stick there. But we're sitting just above that $20 mark. Something just tells me, so I just feel that we're going to see a sub $20 silver market this week, and that gold may drift a little bit down even more. I can't see it much more. In fact, let's just take a look and see what the ratio is right now with gold and silver. 1,776.21 divided by 20.17 equals.
It's approximately 88.0619.
Okay, 88 to 1. So it looks like the ratio has gone up a little bit. We were as low as 86 to 1 earlier last week. But again, silver was getting close to that $21 mark, and gold was close to that $1,800 mark. Still a lot of monkeying going on in these markets. And don't forget, folks, and don't get disappointed by it, but the market, the price discovery for silver and gold and platinum is set on the LME, not the LME, I'm sorry, in the crooked Crimex markets, the price discovery is set there. It's not set by how much physical gold and silver is being sold. It's not set by the physical dynamics of the market, like it probably should be. Supply. It's certainly not set by supply and demand, which is what you would think that most commodities, that's how the commodity price is derived, by supply and demand. But it is not with silver, and not so much with gold. I don't know about the other commodity market. It makes me suspicious of all the other commodities that the Crimex market runs, and including the LME and the London Bullion, the London Bullion Market or whatever, LBMA. I'm sorry, excuse me. And here we are. This is what's causing these prices right here to be as low as they are, in the face of everything, in the face of higher inflation rates, in the face of a fiat dollar that's falling. But one thing I have to look at as well is we have had dollar strength. It just doesn't make sense, when I say dollar strength, but the dollar index has been up quite a bit. It was at 106 plus, nearing that 107 mark again, and that does have an effect on the price of gold in US dollars. But remember, in other currencies, gold can be up right now. If you have a currency that's falling in value faster than the dollar, gold would probably be up or on par right now. So at one time when the gold was down by I forget how much, it was up in British pounds, and it was up in the euro because of the way currencies work. But overall, the trend of all the fiat currencies is downward. So the overall trend of gold is upward, or at least holding its own. But I just feel that we're at some point we've got to get into that takeoff mode here. And if I had a crystal ball, I'd probably leverage myself real big and then own myself an island somewhere. So would you as well. Let's take a look at gata.org here. No point in talking about these lower prices right now. I just say buy the dips if you can. If you don't, it's just the dog days of summer. Relax, go fishing, go do something cool. Go ride your bike, go ride your motorcycle, go ride something. Whatever it is that makes you happy right now. And just ignore the nonsense here in these down day, dog day summer prices that we're seeing at the moment. Meanwhile, and again, I think we're going to, it seems seasonal again, even with precious metals. After August, September, we get into the seasonal months. Gold and silver seem to go back up again. Just take a look at charts. There is some seasonality to gold and silver markets, even though they are rigged. Maybe the riggers just need some time off or something like that. That's why gold prices go up. I don't know. So now I'm really stretching it. Let me get through this video here real quick. Not too much to talk about. I don't want to get into politics at all. I'm just kind of sick of it right now. And again, I'm going to keep this video short. As I said, I'm going to go into prices here in a moment. Meanwhile, I thought this was kind of interesting. It's on ZH. Russia proposes new standard to compete with rigged London Bullion Market Association, the LBMA. London Bullion Market Association. There, I flubbed that a little bit earlier. And it appears that Russia and China are going to be, if not China is not, or is going to be at some point, locked out of the SWIFT system, which is the way that countries transfer money to each other. That's really important. They've already been locked out of that. Russia has. China could find itself on the bad side of the U.S. soon, being locked out of the SWIFT program. Basically, Russia is basically just de-dollarified, and that's what China's been doing for years. China's been laying off treasuries for a long time. They're not buyers of treasuries. They've been sellers of treasury for quite some time. Hence, the reason that we probably are in a lot of trouble. People say, well, China owns this country. No, not anymore. They've been selling off their stock in this country. Why? Because it's a losing stock, folks, unfortunately. When a country just keeps printing more and more money and makes their just starts making more wars out there and creating more problems instead of peace and prosperity. No wonder they've de-dollarized, okay? And I'm not saying that China's don't have their own major issues. It's a communist country. It's run by a bunch of self-serving bureaucratic hacks. Not too much unlike what we going on right now. My gosh, I said I wasn't going to get into politics, and here I go. But it looks like the Russians are creating their own system to go around the LBMA, and I say good. I hope they're not as crooked as the LBMA market is, or has been, and or still is, and not as crooked as the COMEX market owned by the CMA Group has been and is. But again, just because I point out the problems with our own country, the United States, and I point out the problems with European countries, and when I look at this and I say, well, no wonder China is doing this, no wonder the Russians are doing this. I'm not defending China or Russia and their bullshit nonsense policies and their bullshit nonsense politicians and bureaucrats, which they have just as well. What I'm pointing out is that I can't blame them for walking away from a system that kind of pushes them out. And and again, I wouldn't mind the United States making enemies with Russia and China. Well, actually, one side I wouldn't mind, but it wouldn't be so bad if our own people weren't such major hypocrites. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. I said I wouldn't get into politics. I'm going to get out of there real quick. I'm going to just go into best deal here and what the best deals are right now. Prices and products for me through a couple different vendors that I work with have come down dramatically in some products. I want to kind of share that with you right now. And again, if you don't live in the state of Florida and you can't visit us at Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals, which is our brick and mortar here in South Florida in Lauderdale by the Sea, we're open 10 to 4 Mondays through Fridays. And you live out of state and you want to buy more than 100 ounces of gold or more than 2,500 ounces of silver, call me at Concierge Bullion Services. I'll flash up our website on the end here at the end of the video. But the best deals out there, folks, right now are 100-ounce bars. Once again, I can supply you with 100-ounce bars at spot plus $290 right now. I've got a good source on them, why they last, spot plus $290. 1 ounce silver rounds, I've got a limited quantity of those, but man, I can beat the pants off of APMEX, SD, and JM Bullion. In fact, I'm so sure I can beat the pants off, I don't even want to give the price on here just in case they're listening. I don't want to make, no, I'm only kidding. Spot plus $365 for 1 ounce rounds right now. That's considering that they have been up until this week or even sooner, considering that they have been spot plus $5 plus on the big APMEX, SD, and JM websites, maybe a tiny bit smaller in large quantities. I can get these things to you at spot plus $365. Again, limited quantity while I have them. Spot plus $365 at Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in Lauderdale by the Sea. Beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. 10-ounce bars right now. I'm kind of limited to what I can do, but I can still beat APMEX, SD, and JM Bullion on their 10-ounce bars, and probably by a decent amount as well. Not a great amount like I can with the 1-ounce bars. Kilos are still a good deal out there, folks. As I said, I can beat the 3 big guys out there on the prices on their kilo Valcombi bars. As far as what not to buy, Silver Eagles. Silver Eagles are just insanely priced right now. They got to be spot plus 12, 13, 14 bucks or higher on the big websites. I can sell them much cheaper than that, but I would highly recommend you don't buy them. In fact, right now I could probably pay people spot plus 8 or 9 bucks over. Probably. I got to check and see how that market's hold up. It's very, very, could end anytime or go up at any time. But right now, I believe, the last I heard, I could pay 8 to 10 bucks over to my customers for Silver Eagles. And if I'm paying 8 to 10 bucks over, that's on 100 ounces, that's 800 to 1,000 bucks more than the silver price, which my customers could flop over to kilo bars where they're paying like 3 bucks over. They could buy, man, you could buy like a whole extra kilo almost of silver, kilo plus of silver. All right, if you took 100 ounces of Silver Eagles and you traded them to a local dealer, you could probably get at least 132 ounces back in kilo bars or thereabouts. You know what I'm saying? So you can roughly get about 132 ounces back in silver, which, wow. Trading 100 ounces for 132 ounces, come on, folks, that's a great premium. I would trade out my Silver Eagles for sure on that. And by the way, that's a recommendation. The only problem is that unless you have 100 ounces or more, the trade just doesn't make sense. But if you have 100 ounces or more in Silver Eagles, man, trade them out for Valcombi kilo bars. And again, I do have 1 ounce silver bars at a good price too. If you like the smaller increments, they're going to cost you more, but you can trade Silver Eagles for those bars and come out with more silver. It's a great deal. Great freaking trade in my opinion. Speaking of silver, there's your 100-ounce bars right now, and kilos are in here as well. So I just gave you some good advice. If you don't live in South Florida and you're not doing a trade for more than 2,500 ounces, find yourself a good local dealer. He may be able to do this for you as well. As far as gold, You know, there's been a delay on some of the gold bars, but that could just be a regional thing or just be a couple of suppliers that I'm dealing with right now. But gold bars still seem to be the best deal out there. And again, I would avoid 90% too. 90% premiums have gone up substantially. And in my opinion, I think it's very possible that the same buyer that Schechtman had not too long ago could be out there buying Silver Eagles in 90% once again. The only way I'm kind of just surmising that is just because the premiums are getting pretty stupid on those products again. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this time, if that customer buys some more silver and gold, they're going to buy the cheaper products. I'd recommend 1,000-ounce bars just because when you're buying that kind of quantity, it doesn't matter. You know, small quantities aren't going to help you much. And that's just my opinion. Let's take a look at gold. Like I said, gold, where's the bars and cards? Yeah, listen, I can get you a better deal on gold bars and cards too, man. Can't beat that. Looks like the premiums dropped about $6 on 1-ounce gold bars. Good deal. While I have them, they're $6 cheaper than I had them the last month or two. So if you're looking to buy gold, the premium has dropped. And the nice thing is the price of gold and silver had dropped as well. So folks that still got a little ammunition left in that 6-gun, you know, you can load up with some more silver and gold here, folks. Gold buffaloes are still too much money, as are gold eagles in my opinion, but they have dropped a little bit, probably by 10 or 15 bucks a unit, which is odd too, because you know, at one point the premiums were quite high on those. It seems a bit more reasonable now, but I'd still recommend gold bars overall. Next best deal is going to be Krugerrands. Philharmonics, if they're available, are usually around the same price of Krugerrands, maybe a tad cheaper. And there's some other products out there as well. Same thing with Britannias. They should be around the price of Krugerrands, give or take a couple bucks. But bars are still the best deal out there. Eagles, buffaloes, gold buffaloes being higher than that, and I wouldn't recommend them. But again, the premium has dropped on those as well. Dog days of summer, man. Not only has the price of gold and silver gone down a little bit, so has the premiums as well. So it is a good buying opportunity. And that's tough to say to people that have already bought in already, bought in at higher prices, or bought in and just are waiting for the big move upward. But again, this is what we do, folks. Remember, the first thing you need to buy gold and silver for, the first reason why you buy this stuff is not the anticipation that you're going to do a double up, a triple up, a quadruple up anytime soon. But it does happen. That's why, you know, you're always hopeful. Man, my ticket's going to, you know, the ticket's going to come in here at some point, and I'm going to really score big on this. There's going to be big, you know, profits to the upside. However, don't buy it for that reason. Don't buy it for that reason at all, because the wait could be long, the wait could be short. You just don't know. But what you do buy it for is the fact that you're never going to wake up and hear that your gold and silver bars went bankrupt, that they're worthless. And in fact, a 5,000-year track record tells you that it is a good way to preserve your wealth. It's a good way to wake up the next morning and know that your wealth will still be there, that some government, some corporation couldn't go belly up, take it with them. You know, and the buying power of gold does not decrease. The buying power of gold has maintained very well in comparison to the dollar. In fantastic comparison to the dollar, considering that the dollar used to be backed by gold, and $20 gold pieces you could trade for a $20 bill back in the 20s. So think about that. But I've talked about that many times in the past. And let's just move along. I wanted to do a quick video tonight. Again, dog days of summer. Not a lot to talk about. Let's just kind of answer some the questions from the video here earlier. Take a sip of water here if you don't mind. Okay. My mouth is getting dry there. JP is back in business. And that's probably a reply to last night about JPMorgan traders. You know, the traders were found guilty of fraud and spoofing of some sort. I'm not sure if spoofing is a crime, but fraud perhaps. But they were not charged with conspiracy, and they were not charged with, what the heck is that other? Conspiracy and something else, okay. They weren't charged with that. And if they had been charged with conspiracy and RICO Act, or whatever the frick it is, it would have been big trouble probably for some other, the big companies like JPMorgan, because at that point, you know, again, conspiracy charges, the company could be tied back into that. But still, JPMorgan got issues here because they're still dealing in gold and silver. Meanwhile, they've been fined almost $1 billion for doing it, $920 million, I'm sorry, for doing it. not a billion, but $920 million for spoofing markets. That's a fact. Their traders just got thrown under the bus for fraud and spoofing this week, even though they didn't get charged with conspiracy and racketeering. That's what it is, or something. They did get thrown under the bus for fraud and all that stuff. They won't do long jail times or anything. I'm sure a deal was made. But no less, it just makes you wonder, how can any legitimate marketplace and any legitimate regulators allow JPMorgan still to play in the gold and silver markets after all the manipulation, after all the harm they've done, after all the crookedness they've done? They're still allowed to play in the gold and silver markets. Why is that? All right. Unfortunately, like I said, too big to jail, too big to fail. Salute and cheers to all you stackers as well. Spoofers on trial are still spoofing. Roll the dice, grow some hair on your thing. What are you talking about there, Tracy? Thanks for commenting, appreciate that. Silver Liner, what's up? What do you do, executive order wants to place this? I don't know, man. I can't wrap my head around any executive orders right now. I think we talked about that last week, if I recall, like Executive Order 14067, which is the crypto bill. But, I don't know. I just don't know what that's going to do when it's in place. Too much to think about right now. Dario, I'd like to hear my view on numismatics one day. My view on numismatics is coin collecting is awesome. If you got to pick any kind of hobby, coin collecting is cool. I can tell you as a fisherman and a boater that boating is cool and fishing is cool. But then when you're with boating and fishing, you throw a lot of money into something that you will never ever get back. When you're done, you die. All your widow gets with the boating and fishing is an old boat that and a bunch of cruddy old poles. I know there's some equipment there, but coin collectors is a different story. It's a hobby that even when let me just say it's a hobby. When you die, your widow gets something actually pretty cool that has value still, if you bought right and properly. And you know what? The only people that I've ever noticed that make money in numismatics are people, the guys that like what they're doing. And if you find someone that mentors you and is willing to work with you, a good local dealer, a good coin dealer that's willing to work with you and show you things and tell you what you need to do to get better, and you don't start getting cocky thinking you know everything by watching YouTube videos. You can learn a lot and have a good time in the numismatic hobby. And you can make some good money too if you make the wise choices and you buy the proper things. I think there's money to be made. But at the very least, in a coin collection, when you're all said and done, unlike golf, where you end up with a shitty old pair of golf clubs and an old bag, coins, if you do it right, your people can end up with something really nice in the future, or you'll end up with something nice for retirement. That's just my opinion. Coin collecting, a totally different thing than stacking gold and silver. At some point, I will do coin collecting numismatic type videos. I would like to do that because, talking about gold and silver is the same thing over and over and over. Pretty much, you're talking about the same markets. You're talking about the comics all the time. The criminal comics all the time. You're talking about, the up and down. Numismatics. I could probably actually be very enjoyable to throw some numismatics, maybe into this show or a different show. Got me thinking there. Thanks, Dario. Appreciate it. Have yourself a good evening. Might be hard to arrest the algorithm that JPMorgan used to manipulate. I don't even know what that algorithm is, and whether there is an algorithm or whether, how or what it just confuses me. It has something to do with, again, the price discovery in the comics markets, and it has a lot to do with the short positions and the long positions. Managed money longs and commercial shorts. It gets a little complicated from there and hard to explain sometimes, but that's where the crime occurs, in the CME market. That's why I like to call it the Crimex markets. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. I do love the fish and corals myself. Good on you for dating the video. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm not quite. Did I date the video? I don't know. I'm not quite sure what you're talking about there. My apology. My fault, not yours. It's hard for me to remember what I said last night, much less what I said 5 minutes ago. Kevin, buy the dips. How can you make any money buying physical dips with taxes and premiums? Taxes should not be bad if you are. Kevin, you shouldn't be paying taxes if you're spending. In Florida, it's over $500, so there's no sales tax. All right. As far as taxes go, the only taxes that are due on gold and silver and precious metals are capital gain taxes when you go to sell your gold and silver. And capital gain taxes can be pretty steep depending on your income as well. But a lot of people have no plan on selling their gold and silver and paying capital gains, not because they're trying to cheat taxes. It's because they probably lost their gold and silver in a boating accident. I shouldn't say that. I just thought that was funny. It's probably because they, again, a lot of people are going to hand off this wealth preservation that they built up to their children and their grandkids, hopefully. Build up like a nice pile of wealth preservation, a nice pile that the whole family and the whole people in future generations can fall back on. And some of you are just waiting for that double up and that triple up, and it'll happen. As long as you have patience, it'll happen. You'll sell your metal for a double up and a triple up and maybe even much higher, likely much higher when the shit really hits the fan. But Kevin, don't worry about it. Look at it as wealth preservation. Buy the lowest premium stuff that you can. Premiums have dropped down substantially, and as I've been talking about for months now, if kilo bars, you can't get a cheaper premium than kilo bars. And if you're buying kilo bars in Florida, it's no sales tax on it. So yeah, you can get some good deals out there. And even if I didn't answer it, I hope I can be your friend forever. Thanks, Kevin. Have yourself a good evening. Tree climber, keep buying there, dude. Man, you are just lots of nieces, nephew, friends, and hey, that's nice of you. See, that's what I was just talking about. Tree climbers buying stuff. He's putting his stash away for himself. He'll enjoy some of that money when it gets up to big money. Maybe he'll sell something, go out and buy himself a nice motorcycle, right, tree climber? Whatever it is you do. But he's got a plan overall to leave something solid to the kids and other folks. Joe McDonald, what's up? I'm in Miss Brown. Oh gosh, man, I kind of lost the reference. Folks, if I lose the reference to what you say sometimes, it's only because my short-term memory's gone to hell. Carrie, comics is done, JB. Yep, can't argue with that. After military gun, oh wow, that's some pretty heavy statements there. Folks, here, take a read what Gary says here. I think I read it the other night. And just pause the video, and if you want, give a reply. And of course, a scammer. Look at that. Oh, look, they took a picture of my store. They're trying to be me. Bastards. Anyway, let's just remove that. Sorry about that, folks. Interesting comment there. And again, folks, let Gary know what you think in the comment section from yesterday's video here. And Gary, thanks for coming. I appreciate this. Strong man. Chinese commercials say bye-bye to paper, precious metal after new account opening. China merchants in active position. Ooh, interesting there as well. Got to wrap my head around that. Michael, what's up? Jeff Keller, what's my thought on vintage Danbury Mint and Franklin Mint Sterling art bars? I think they're really cool. They're common as hell. Maybe a lot of them have been melted. Maybe there's not many out there, but there's a lot of Franklin Mint out there. There's a lot of Danbury Mint out there. I mean, those companies produce like in the millions of things. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you're enjoying it and you're enjoying stacking Danbury and Franklin Mint stuff, I think that's fine. I don't think I'd pay a huge premium on it until I really truly knew that most of it was melted and rare. I don't think that's the case yet though, Jeff. But again, if you're not paying much over melt for it, why the hell not? Hey, thanks for watching, folks. I appreciate it. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Concierge Bullion Services. As I always say, think for yourself and question authority. Here's my website for Concierge Bullion Services. Again, Concierge Bullion Services is a business that I created for folks that can call us if they're buying more than 100 ounces of gold and more than 2,500 ounces of silver. We do business on the phone. We do wires, bank wires, and that kind of thing, and we can manage shipping and taking care of all that stuff and give you a better price than what you're probably getting local and from anyone else. You can call us at this number anytime. Again, just type in Concierge Bullion Services or conciergebullion.com, and you can reach us there. And if you live in South Florida, here's the business I started this video with, is Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. It's our brick and mortar. We're open 10 to 4 Mondays through Fridays. Unfortunately, we're not set up to do any kind of shipping in the brick and mortar here. But if you are in South Florida, we highly recommend that you come by and see us. We will be at SD Bullion and JM Bullion. We'll beat their prices on the more common products here in South Florida, buying and selling, and also the locals down here as well. Well, hey, that's it. Thanks for watching, folks. I'm going to go back to the camera. I really appreciate it. God, and they are beautiful fish, aren't they? Hey, have a good evening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye now. Oh, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button.